Mutual funds industry's assets under management crossed 50 lakh crore rupees for the first time. Equity mutual funds see nearly 17,000 crore inflows in December. Small cap funds continue to see a huge deluge of money, while large cap funds see marginal outflows. 3 weeks to go for the union government's interim budget. Sources say a capex hike of 15 to 20% could be on the cards. Government is also considering hiking allocation under the Farmer Income Support Scheme from 6 to 8,000 rupees per year per farmer. Defence business will grow faster and become larger than core business, says Bharat Forge's Baba Kalyani. May even consider a listing when it comes to an inflection point. Expects group's revenue to hit 20,000 crores in 2 years' time. That's an exclusive. Shares of Boeing tumble after US aviation regulator grounds dozens of 737 MAX 9 jets. The move comes after a piece of plane blew out in the middle of an Alaska Airlines flight on Friday. DLF sells luxury residences worth 7,200 crore rupees in a Gurugram project within 3 days of the pre-launch. DLF expects bookings worth 9,000 crore rupees from just 2 projects in Q3. Tamil Nadu claims to have attracted investments worth 6.6 lakh crore rupees as the global investor meeting draws to a close. Projects nearly 27 lakh jobs will be generated through these investments. Supreme Court agrees to hear e-gaming federation's plea challenging GST show-cause notices, but stops short of passing interim orders to protect companies from coercive action. The federation argues that e-gaming companies are facing a 100% tax on the face value of the bet. Government, meanwhile, says that unlike income tax, GST is imposed on the gross consideration. Supreme Court sets aside Gujarat government's 2022 order granting remission to 11 convicts sentenced to life imprisonment in the Bilkis Bano rape case, asks them to surrender to prison, rules that Gujarat was not the appropriate government to pass remission orders as the trial was held in Maharashtra. The court slams Gujarat government's conduct, says that they usurp Maharashtra's powers by exercising their discretion. The High Commissioner of Maldives to India meets officials at the External Affairs Ministry amidst a row over remarks made by Maldivian ministers against the Prime Minister. 3 ministers have been suspended for making derogatory remarks. And Oppenheimer shines bright at the Golden Globe Awards, wins 5 awards across categories, including Best Picture, Drama, Best Actor for Cillian Murphy, and Best Director for Nolan. Succession reigns supreme from the TV side, wins its 3rd Globe in the Best Drama Series category. Well, first up, straight to the day's market action. Now, weak global cues played spoil sport on the Lal Street. Sensex and Nifty declined by 1% to end at the lowest level in 2 weeks' time. The Sensex lost over 670 points and the Nifty, meanwhile, lost 200. Financials led the decline with a sharp fall in the last hour of trade. Mid-caps also saw profit booking. And in fact, speaking of the markets, the mutual fund industry ended 2023 on a sweet note. The industry's assets under management has reached more than 50 lakh crore rupees for the first time in December. Now, according to data compiled by the Association of Mutual Funds in India, mutual fund portfolios also surged to an all-time high of 16.49 lakh crore rupees in December compared to 16.18 crores recorded in November. Now, a report by Bloomberg has claimed that Sony is planning to call off the proposed $10 billion merger with Zee Entertainment. Bloomberg reports that Sony will send a termination notice by the 20th of this month, citing people familiar with the matter. The report claims that Sony does not want Puneet Goenka to lead the merged entity and that remains a major flashpoint between both sides. Well, we have about 3 weeks to go for the interim budget. Sources, meanwhile, tell us that the government is considering hiking of capital expenditure by 15 to 20%. Sources have told CNBC TV 18 that the government's capex is likely to focus on expanding high-speed rail corridors, railway modernization, and expansion of rail connectivity to the northeast. Timsy Jaipuria is joining us now with more details. Timsy, just a few days away now from the budget. What can you tell us about the government's plan forward?
As all eyes are on the upcoming interim budget, sources have told CNBC TV18 that the government is again going to bank upon capex to accelerate growth. According to highly placed sources, on the drawing board is the proposal to push at least 15 to 20% hike in capex, which could be announced in the upcoming interim budget. Remember, government had earmarked 7.5 lakh crores for capex in FY23, which was hiked for FY24 at 10 lakh crore rupees. And again, for the coming fiscal, the target is to increase this amount. Government's view is very clear. Capex will continue to drive growth and employment. Majority of capex to focus on infra and strategic ministries, including roads and highways, railways and defense. Capex has the ability to crowd in private investments, will help in providing the much-needed cushion against global headwinds, is the view from the government. Not just this, sources say that the government feels that capex has tangible multiplier impact on sectors like cement, steel, road construction equipment, etc. So what will be the focus of fund allocation? Well, again, according to sources, the capex will focus to fund expansion of 4-lane highways, greenfield access control corridors, high-speed rail corridors, aiding further railway modernization, including station redevelopment, Govt implementation to help expand semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express trains, Amrit Bharat Express, expansion of railway connectivity in Northeast. Similarly, for strategic areas, capex is likely to aim at boosting defense exports beyond the record set in FY23. Also, it is likely to lay emphasis on Nari Shakti, ensuring ex-servicemen welfare schemes, among others. It is important to note that Budget 2023 saw capex outlay rising for the third year running to 10 lakh crores, which was a 33% rise. Budget 23 capex outlay was 3 times outlay of Budget 2020, 4 times outlay of Budget 2017, and 5 times of outlay of Budget 2014. Let's see what is that the government projects on the 1st of Feb.
Right, Timsy, thanks a lot for that. Now, staying with the budget, the government is considering hiking the allocation under the Farmer Income Support Scheme from 6,000 rupees to 8,000 rupees per year. Sources have told CNBC TV18 that the allocation under the Free Good Grain Scheme may be increased as well. The government's departments are currently considering working on a scheme to increase financial support for the MSME sector as well. Well, here's the big newsmaker this evening. Bharat Forge's Baba Kalyani turned 75 today, and he has no plans to retire. In fact, Kalyani has big expansion plans for the defense business, which he believes will become larger than the core business itself. Baba Kalyani and his son Amit Kalyani spoke to Shireen Bhan at the Bharat Forge headquarters in Pune, touting the potential of the defense business in India. Baba Kalyani said that a potential listing could be on the cards when the business hits an inflection point. Bharat Forge is eyeing acquisitions in the defense space and is scouting for companies in India.
You know, I mean, there are some businesses that will grow faster than the others, there's no doubt. For example, I think the defense business will go faster than most other verticals. And there might be a time in the next few years where that business will be bigger than our core business. Because, you know, it also uses our core business technologies, like metal forming, forging, machining, etc. So, you know, that's a great possibility. And if that happens, it would be better off as an independent company.
So eventually, you know, plans to take any of these verticals public, you know, listing at some point over the next few years?
See, I foresee that each vertical will be a standalone business. Now, whether they get listed or not depends on their size, scale, and whether their cycles and their businesses require capital or they require the capital markets to get the reflection of the true valuation. So I think going forward, acquisitions will be very selective. They will be in technology domains, but we will make acquisitions in India, because in India, for us to scale up manufacturing capability, bandwidth, technology and know-how will be the easiest way for us to kickstart our growth. But if you look at the acquisitions we have made in the casting business, we acquired 2 foundries with 3 plants in Coimbatore. And we are going to make similar acquisitions because this will give us a head start in growing our business. These are all industries where we see huge opportunity for business to shift, especially from Europe. China plus one will help. And India is going to be competitive in these sectors. So I think these are opportunities that are going to give us tremendous opportunities for growth.
But speaking about the future, 75, 52 here at Bharat Forge. Are you now planning to sort of step back? Any plans at this point in time? Or are you still
You ask this young man.
The young man has a say, does he?
Yeah, of course. I am ready to step back and go on a holiday somewhere.
So what's stopping you? He's stopping you.
I think my father is happiest when he's here. This is his first love. And I think we're all deeply motivated by him, by his passion for what he does, and the energy he brings and the ideas. The whole defense business has been his baby. And, I think it keeps him young, it keeps him active. And I hope that he keeps doing this because he has so much to give back to our company, to the country, and to teach a lot of young people new things.
Well, so no plans at this point in time to step back?
Well, the day I think I don't enjoy it, that day I'm gone.
That'll be the day.
Well, you can catch that entire conversation with Baba Kalyani and Amit Kalyani at 10 p.m. right here on CNBC TV 18. Well, DLF has sold luxury residences worth 7,200 crore rupees in a Gurugram project within 3 days of the pre-launch. Speaking to CNBC TV 18, DLF's Joint Managing Director Akash Ori has said that he expects bookings worth 9,000 crore rupees from just 2 projects in the third quarter.
Quarter 1 and 2 have been about 2,200. This quarter will be, say, with this particular thing and the 2 launches, Panchkula as well as a commercial launch in Gurgaon, will take us to about 9,000 odd. NRI has just been about 20% of this entire sales, so 80% has still come from the rest of the country. I mean, primarily the NCR and the rest of the country. Like the 5-10 lakh rupee booking amounts, this time the booking amounts have been 50 lakh rupees, no bulk bookings, 1 apartment to a family, and so on and so forth. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is these are retails, mostly people looking at moving in.
In some courtroom action now, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the e-gaming federation's application challenging GST show cause notices. However, the Apex Court has stopped short of passing interim orders to protect the companies from coercive action. The federation has argued that e-gaming companies are facing a 100% tax on the face value of the bet. The government, meanwhile, has said that unlike the income tax, GST is imposed on the gross consideration. And moving on, Go First Resolution Professional has extended the voting deadline for lenders to review the latest expressions of interest from SpiceJet and other investors. The voting, which was slated to end on Saturday, has been extended till the end of this week. Now, passengers on an Alaska Airlines flight in the United States have had a harrowing experience on Friday. This after the window and a piece of the plane's fuselage blew mid-air, exposing the passengers to howling winds, forcing it to make an emergency landing. The incident led to immediate grounding of Alaska Airlines' 65 MAX 9 planes, followed by the U.S. aviation regulator's orders to ground similar planes in other airlines as well. It is not clear whether Boeing is to be blamed for what happened with Alaska Airlines' plane, but the episode raises serious safety concerns for Boeing. And well, this is just the latest in a slew of incidents having dodged the Boeing 737 MAX planes in the last few years. Madhya Mujawar is here with a quick look at all the issues that have been affecting Boeing. Madhya, the troubles seemingly continue for Boeing. What more can you tell us?
Certainly, Ashmit, the MAX fleet is a problem child for Boeing. The latest incident is extremely concerning. It's an unimaginable sight in reality to see the window of the plane blowing off in mid-air. Alaska Airlines immediately grounded all of the 65 MAX 9 planes and began investigations. The U.S. aviation regulator ordered a grounding of at least 171 such planes flown by other airlines. This impacted operations of United Airlines, which owns the highest number of MAX 9 planes. The then Turkish Airlines, Panama's Copa Airlines and Mexico's Aeromexico. It is yet to be concluded if this was the result of a manufacturing flaw, but it once again opens several questions, as you mentioned, for Boeing. The plane maker has had a rough journey since 2019 due to the MAX fleet. In October 2018, a Lion Air 737 MAX departing from Jakarta in Indonesia crashed into the Java Sea shortly after takeoff, killing all 189 people on board. 5 months later, in March 2019, a Ethiopian Airlines MAX plane crashed minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa, killing all 157 passengers and crew. The fleet was then grounded for 2 years, and after a short breather, the problems resurfaced in 2023. In August 2023, Boeing said the fastener holes on the AFT pressure bulkhead of the certain MAX planes were found to be improperly drilled. Then in April 2023, Boeing said a non-standard manufacturing process was used to install 2 fittings at the vertical tail of the aircraft. And in December 2023, Boeing urged airlines to inspect 737 MAX airplanes for a possible loose bolt in the rudder control system. So it has been quite a rough journey for the MAX fleet, and the Alaska Airlines incident has made people even more cautious about the safety issues with this plane.
Right, Madhya, thanks a lot for that input. Now, staying with the aviation space, India's aviation regulator has announced new rules to reduce fatigue among pilots and cabin crew. Danish Anand is here with the latest. Danish.
Well, in what could be considered as a relief and a long-standing demand of the aviation industry, the government has amended certain norms in flight duty time limitations, or the FDTL. The government has increased rest periods, redefined night duty and mandated regular fatigue reports to be shared by airlines. Government has revised regulations and mandated increase in weekly rest period from the existing 36 hours to 48 hours for the flight crew. The definition of night has been amended, and now it covers a time period between 12 AM and 6 AM instead of 5 AM earlier. The maximum flight time and maximum flight duty period for flight operations encroaching night have been restricted to 8 hours flight time and 10 hours respectively. The number of the landings have been limited to only 2 landings as compared to maximum 6 landings earlier. DGCA has also mandated that all airline operators should submit quarterly fatigue reports, and these reports will follow a non-punitive and a confidentiality policy. The revised FDTL regulations are effective immediately, and the airlines are required to comply with the revised regulations latest by 1st June 2024. The government also believes that these norms are in line with international best practices and will help the Indian aviation industry to grow further.
Well, from the aviation to the auto space, India's auto sales in December dipped by over 30% year-on-year. This, according to the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, of FADA. However, the dealers' body is hopeful of a recovery in the January to March quarter. Speaking to CNBC TV 18, FADA President Manish Raj Singhania said that he expects the industry to continue its trend of reporting strong sales in the last quarter of this fiscal. And well, staying with the auto space, Mercedes-Benz has kicked off its 13th year of operations in India with the launch of the new GLS luxury SUV. Now, the latest edition of this car comes in 2 variants priced at over 1.3 crore rupees. The German luxury auto company has also said that it will be investing 200 crore rupees in India and launch over 12 products in 2024. Well, on to a diplomatic issue now, an international issue at that. Diplomatic tensions between India and Maldives have been strained further on the back of 3 deputy Maldivian ministers passing derogatory remarks against the Indian Prime Minister, criticizing his visit to Lakshadweep on social media platform X. Now, the 3 ministers have now been suspended and their posts deleted. Last week, the Prime Minister, in a post referring to his Lakshadweep visit, highlighted the stunning beauty of its islands. Now, while there was no direct reference to Maldives in his post, social media users in the island nation saw the post as a threat to their tourism economy and posted derogatory remarks against the country. The High Commissioner of Maldives to India met officials at the External Affairs Ministry amidst this row. These ties between the 2 countries have been strained since Mohammad Moizu's India Out campaign became a decisive factor in his victory in the presidential elections. Parikshit Luthra joining us now with more details. Parikshit, a sensitive issue at this. We've seen this a situation develop where 3 Maldivian ministers have been shown the door. What is the way forward from here?
Well, definitely, this is a major strain in the relationship between India and Maldives. And there were questions about the trajectory of the relationship when President Moizu took over. Yes, there was a lot of flutter when instead of going to India, the first visit by the new Maldives president was to China. And at the same time, you had 3 deputy ministers, prominent leaders in the Maldivian government, criticizing, making objectionable remarks against Prime Minister Modi after he promoted Lakshadweep on his Twitter handle. Some even going on to say that he is a puppet of Israel. This has clearly not gone down well with the Indian government. A very strong protest has been lodged with the Maldives Foreign Ministry. The Maldives ambassador to India was also summoned today and a protest was lodged, asked what action has been taken. Now, while these 3 leaders have been suspended, there is a ramification for this on business. There are portals, travel portals like Ease My Trip, who have suspended bookings to Maldives in national interest. The Maldives tour operators telling us that there have been no bulk cancellations, but definitely there is a slowdown in bookings. So clearly this will have a ripple effect. And remember, we are a very large tourist community for Maldives. Indians and Russians comprise the bulk of the tourists who travel to Maldives every year. And any kind of fallout on that, impact on that, will definitely impact revenues of the country.
We as a travel association believe that the relationship we have with India is much stronger than what is portrayed today. In terms of bookings, we have reached out to many resorts, many guest houses, many liverboats and city hotels, and in also the different airlines that operate to Maldives. Like I said, there hasn't been such cancellation as that has been portrayed in media, but there is a slowdown in pickup, there's a slowdown in appetite for Maldives.
Well, coming up on India Business Hour, Tamil Nadu claims to have attracted investments worth 6.6 lakh crore rupees as the global investors meeting draws to a close. Projects nearly 27 lakh jobs will be generated through these investments. And you can also catch all CNBC TV 18's news and updates on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and Geo Cinema. Well, you are watching India Business Hour. More than 70 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes over the last 24 hours, according to the Hamas-run Health Ministry in Gaza. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is on his 4th tour to the Middle East since the war broke out on October 7th. He has warned that Palestinians must be able to return home as soon as conditions allow them and must not be pressed to leave Gaza. Blinken is set to meet Saudi Prince today and will visit Israel tomorrow. Now, even as Blinken attempts to avert a wider war, Israel continues to attack his areas in Lebanon. Just minutes ago, Hezbollah announced the death of a senior commander due to Israeli strikes. Well, back home, the Supreme Court has quashed the Gujarat government's August 2022 order that granted the premature release of 11 men convicted in the Bilkis Bano rape case. The court ruled that Gujarat was not the appropriate government to pass remission orders as the trial was held in Maharashtra. The court also criticized the Gujarat government's conduct and said that the state usurped Maharashtra's power by exercising its own discretion. The Supreme Court has asked the convicts to surrender in prison within 2 weeks' time. Shifting focus now, the Tamil Nadu government has attracted a whopping 6 lakh crore rupees in investments on the 2-day Tamil Nadu Global Investors meeting. Big Indian names like Godrej Consumer Products, Tata Electronics, Tata Power, JSW Renewables and TVS have coughed up large sums of investments to expand existing capabilities, while overseas auto and renewable energy majors like Vietnamese EV major VinFast, Hyundai and First Solar have either made in a foray in Tamil Nadu or have looked to set up shop in the state or expand on existing footprints here. CNBC TV 18's Jude Saneth brings us a quick roundup of all the action from both days of the summit.
Tamil Nadu's just got done with the 3rd edition of its Global Investor Summit in just under a decade. And while investments this year broke all previous records, 2 sectors in particular, energy and electronics, stood out by virtue of the sheer volume of their investments. While Tata Power has decided to look at exploratory capex of 50,000 to 60,000 crore rupees in the state, US-based First Solar has decided to top up its existing investment of $700 million to a total of $1 billion.
manufacturing is 4,300 crores of investment, which is already ongoing. There is another 3,000 crores of plant that is coming up in terms of the solar plant, and another 3,000 for wind. So there's about 6,000 of the solar and the wind generation investment that has been made.
The announcement was on the MOU. It's a further brownfield expansion that will enhance the technology platform that we have right now, as well as improve the daily production volumes that we'll get out of the factory.
Meanwhile, the automotive sector continues to stay in focus. Extending its 26-year-long innings in Tamil Nadu, Hyundai Motor India announced an additional 6,000 crore rupees investment to top up an existing investment of about 20,000 crore rupees that it made last year to buy new machinery and expand existing product lines across powertrains. This even as the new automotive kid on the block is Vietnamese EV major VinFast, which will open a new plant in Tuticorin with an investment outlay of $2 billion.
We feel that there is a huge more potential, and that's why today on the sidelines of Tamil Nadu Global Investor Meet, we announced additional 6,000 crore investment over and above the 20,000 crore which we invested last year.
VinFast themselves, they are one of the biggest in the world, and they've already listed in NASDAQ, and they're doing pretty well there also. And the announcement has also done pretty good, pushed their numbers there also, I'm hearing. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, VinFast saw the quality of manpower that is available and the quality of the ecosystem that is available.
Most economists have predicted that for India to add value to its growth, investing in human capital, design and engineering must be the way forward. So even as French glassmaker Saint-Gobain has decided to complete its 3,400 crore rupee investment in a greenfield project in Oragadam by FY28, US-based logistics major UPS has announced that it will advance its expansion of its Chennai-based Global Capability Center by a whole year.
In a range of businesses extending beyond glass, obviously it will have a lot of glass-related businesses. There will be 2 float lines. We are also bringing in our insulation business, which is the glass wool. There will be 2 potential glass wool lines. Then we are bringing in advanced acoustic insulation lines. And then we are bringing 2 plasterboard lines. We are talking about 3,400 crores between now and FY27-28.
We are planning to add 1,000 more people just in this year. So what we thought we will do sometime in 2025, it's all getting accelerated. For Center 1 and Center 2, in all we will be having about 190,000 square footage in all. So that's the kind of expansion. We are tripling our capacity.
And this may well be the part that Tamil Nadu gets right as it focuses on building new plants and creating new jobs, even as it lays emphasis on design, R&D and developing human capital. And when it comes to just how much of that 6.6 lakh crore investment blitzkrieg actually makes it on the ground, well, that's something we'll just have to wait and watch out for. In Chennai, this is Jude Sanath.
Well, time now for all the action from the Golden Globe Awards. Oppenheimer shown at the last night's awards. The biopic bagged 5 wins, including the award for Best Motion Picture Drama. Actor Cillian Murphy and director Christopher Nolan bagged their first ever Golden Globe Awards. On the television front, Succession reigns supreme, with the series clinching 5 awards, including the Best TV Series title. This is the show's 3rd Golden Globe win for Best Television Series in the drama category.
He always maintained his loyalty to his country, what he needed to do, never apologized for what he did, and yet all of his actions.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you so much for watching. News and updates continue right here on CNBC TV 18.